Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're back in the greenhouse. I'm going to be showing you how I installed a 12 volt solar vent fan system. This system is designed to help pull air in through the vent and push the air through the greenhouse to help control the temperature. I start by installing a 10-foot 4x4 to mount the solar panel on. I level up the 4x4 and put concrete around the bottom. I also make sure that the 4x4 is squared up with a southern direction. That way the solar panel will be pointing south. Next, I'm going to build a wooden frame for the solar panel. This solar panel already has 4 Z-shaped mounts on it. I then measured the width between those Z brackets and cut 2 pieces of treated decking to fit the brackets. I then measured to the center of the 2 pieces of decking and measure 1 3/4 each direction. This will give me the width of the 4x4. I then take 2 pieces of 5/4 decking and put them on these 2 pieces that I am mounting the solar panel to. I place the solar panel on the wood frame and align it even on both sides. I then secure it with 1.5" screws. Next, I measure and find the center of the 2 pieces of 5/4 decking. I mark it on both sides. I will then drill a 3/8 inch hole. This is for a lag bolt that will mount this frame to the 4x4. Next, I measure over side to side 1 3/4, which is the center of the 4x4, and I measure down 2 3/4, and then I drill a small hole. This is basically a pilot hole for the lag bolt. I do that on both sides. I then place the solar panel and the frame onto the 4x4 and align it with the 2 holes I just drilled, and I get my lag bolt started. This will help hold it while I secure it to the 4x4. Next, I use a speed square and get the angle of the solar panel that I need. I make 3 different angles. This is for different seasons of the year. I will come out and adjust the angle of the solar panel to get the best exposure to the sun. I use a screw to hold the bracket at the angle I want. Next, I cut a 1-inch hole in the polycarbonate to feed the wire and the flexible conduit into the greenhouse. I made a wood frame out of treated lumber. This is to hold the deep cycle marine battery on top of it and to mount the charge controller and speed controller and thermostat to the bottom side. I placed the battery on the shelf. The battery has 2 hot wires and 2 neutral wires. Next, I take the thermostat and I'm going to place it onto a cover that goes over the electrical box. I drill a 1/4 inch hole. This is for the knob shaft on the thermostat. Next, I will drill 2 small holes for the screws that will mount the thermostat to the cover. Next, I'm going to be cutting out a hole for the light switch to fit through the cover. I drill 2 holes and then I use my utility knife to cut out the remaining section of plastic. Now I'll mount the charge controller to the shelf. This is a Renergy 10 amp solar charge controller. I'll take the hot wire that's going to the battery and put it in the terminal that is marked positive for the battery. I then take the neutral wire from the battery and put it in the neutral terminal. Next, I secure the wire coming from the solar panel to the frame of the greenhouse. This is so the wire isn't pulled. I take the positive and negative wire from the solar panel and secure it to the terminals marked for the solar panel on the charge controller. Next, I install the light switch onto the plastic box. On the light switch, I have already installed a wire with a connector on it. This connector will plug into the thermostat. I then take the positive wire from the battery and connect it to the other terminal of the light switch. Next, I'm going to connect the thermostat to the light switch. I take the hot wire coming from the light switch and connect it to the thermostat, and the hot wire going to the fan and connect it to the other terminal of the thermostat. Now I'm ready to put the plate on over the light switch. And I make sure that the thermostat wire, the little silver wire coming out the bottom, is not near the terminals. I actually went back later and put tape over the terminals of the light switch to make sure this wire doesn't touch the terminals. Next, I'm running the thermostat wire behind the shelf and up next to the fan. Next, I use 2x4s to frame in for the attic fan. This is a 14 by 14 inch opening for the fan. Now I install the fan and secure it with screws. I cut the plug off the radiator fan and use heat shrink connectors to connect my ground wires and hot wires. Now I use a utility knife to cut out the opening in the polycarbonate for the gable vent. I put butyl tape around the edge of the gable vent and then secure it to the greenhouse with screws. The butyl tape is to help keep water from getting in behind the vent. Next, I'm going to be hooking up the speed controller to the fan. I'm hooking up the hot line to the motor and the neutral to the motor. The speed controller has the terminals marked where the neutral and the hot for the motor are to be connected. Now the neutral from the battery, and then I will connect the hot line coming from the thermostat to the terminals that are marked for the power supply to the thermostat. So it should look like that. I put it in place and secure it with a screw. Now we give it a test. So now we have our line coming in from the solar panel. It goes to the charge controller, then from the charge controller to the battery, then from the battery a neutral wire goes to the speed controller, and the hot line goes into the switch and then to the thermostat. It then goes from the thermostat to the speed controller, and then from the speed controller to the fan. This speed controller also has a directional switch. That way you can change the direction of the airflow, either push the air out or pull the air into the greenhouse. Okay, that's it. That's how I hooked up the solar fan system for the greenhouse. Thanks for watching Building Tactics. If you can and you like the video, like and subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching Building Tactics.